Padre Pio, a humble friar who lived in a small town in southern Italy, became one of the most revered spiritual figures of the 20th century. Known for his deep prayer, mysterious gifts, and the countless miracles attributed to his intercession, Padre Pio's life was marked by an extraordinary connection to the divine. He bore the stigmata, the wounds of Christ, for much of his life, and was known for his ability to read souls, offer guidance, and perform spiritual acts that transcended the natural world. But there is one area of his mystical experience that stands apart, one that continues to intrigue and mystify even the most devout believers. In his lifetime, Padre Pio spoke often about the soul's journey after death, particularly about what happens the moment the soul leaves the body. It's a topic many shy away from, yet Padre Pio's vivid experiences and visions brought it into the light. He claimed to have seen, time and again, what happens in the moment of death and beyond. His understanding of the soul's fate was profound, and what he shared left many wondering not only about their own journey after death, but also about the mysterious workings of the afterlife. Padre Pio's experiences weren't just theoretical or based on religious texts. He encountered them firsthand through visions and divine revelations, which allowed him to speak with absolute certainty about the fate that awaited each soul. His personal account of the afterlife is not just an intriguing mystery for theologians. It's a message of hope, clarity, and solemn responsibility for all of us. One of the most striking aspects of Padre Pio's mystical experiences was his ability to witness the moment of death and the soul's journey to the next life. In the many years of his priestly service, he performed thousands of confessions, offering spiritual guidance to people at the moment they faced the end of their earthly lives. But more than just hearing their confessions, Padre Pio had an uncanny ability to see what happened at the very instant their soul left their body. He claimed that when someone passed away, he could see their soul leave the body, whether the soul was destined for heaven, hell, or purgatory. What Padre Pio witnessed and described in great detail was a powerful reminder of the fragile nature of life. But his accounts were never grim. Instead, they were always filled with an unwavering belief in the mercy of God. The moment a soul departed from its earthly form, he would say, depended greatly on the state of the person's soul, whether they had lived in a state of grace, in friendship with God, or whether they had lived in sin. It was in those final moments, as the soul ascended, that Padre Pio could sense the profound mystery of God's mercy at work. Padre Pio's belief in the soul's journey after death was not just about what happened at the moment of death, but also about the importance of prayer, penance, and the power of intercession. He often spoke of how our prayers could impact the state of a soul, even after death. According to Padre Pio, when a soul was ready to leave the body, it was the final opportunity for the living to offer their prayers, asking God to show mercy and to guide the soul into eternal rest. In Padre Pio's view, no soul was beyond redemption, and every prayer, no matter how small, could make a difference. This is why he encouraged his followers to pray for the dead, especially those in purgatory. He explained that the souls in purgatory were not lost, but were in a state of purification, preparing to enter heaven. And while the souls in hell were beyond hope, those in purgatory still had the potential for salvation. It was this belief that drove his tireless work on behalf of the souls in purgatory, offering his own suffering for their release. Padre Pio would often say that he saw the souls of the departed in his visions, longing for the light of heaven. He referred to them as the poor souls, trapped in a limbo of suffering and purification. But unlike some who might have been frightened by the idea of encountering souls in purgatory, Padre Pio saw them with compassion and empathy. To him, they were not to be feared, but were to be prayed for and helped. He believed that by offering his prayers, his suffering, and his stigmata for them, he could aid their journey toward heaven. There is a particular vision of Padre Pio's that remains etched in the memories of many who heard it. He described a scene where a soul, freshly departed from the body, was surrounded by a bright light, slowly making its way toward its final destination. As it passed through this light, the soul was met by a host of angels, ready to guide it either to the eternal joys of heaven or, if necessary, to the temporary purification of purgatory. This scene, Padre Pio said, was one of great peace but also of solemnity, for it revealed both the mercy and the justice of God. This vision, however, did not just reveal the fate of the soul, it also demonstrated the role of the living in the journey of the departed. Padre Pio would often tell his followers that they must not neglect the souls of the departed, but continue to pray for them. Even after death, he believed, we are connected to the departed, and our prayers have the power to assist them on their way. Padre Pio's emphasis on the power of prayer was one of the most important aspects of his teachings. He often said that the souls in purgatory were not beyond hope, but they needed the help of the living to be freed from their suffering. By offering up prayers, masses, and acts of penance, the living could assist these souls in their purification. Padre Pio's example of intercessory prayer became a model for many, who would gather to pray for the souls of the departed, knowing that their prayers could make a difference. As Padre Pio saw it, the moment of death was both a tragic and a triumphant moment. It was a time when the soul left the body, but it was also the moment when God's grace could still work miracles. Whether the soul was destined for eternal peace or temporary purification, Padre Pio believed that this moment was sacred, and he treated each one with the reverence it deserved. Through his mysticism, he helped bring clarity to the unknown, offering hope to those left behind and to those who wondered about the fate of their loved ones after death. In Padre Pio's words, the soul is the most important part of the human being. He taught that no matter how good or how sinful a person may have been during their life, the soul was what mattered most. And it was in the final moments, when the soul departed from the body, that the true journey began. This belief gave Padre Pio a unique perspective on life and death, one that balanced justice with mercy, faith with reason, and the seen with the unseen. Padre Pio's legacy lives on in the countless stories of souls he touched during his life and after death. His experiences and teachings about the moment a soul leaves the body remain a powerful reminder that our journey does not end at the moment of death. The moment the soul departs from the body is not a solitary moment. It is part of a greater journey that continues beyond the veil of this world. And while the soul's fate is determined by the choices we make in life, the prayers of the living, the intercession of saints, and the boundless mercy of God ensure that we are never truly alone. For Padre Pio, the moment a soul left the body was a moment to be revered and prayed for, a moment that revealed the deep mystery of God's love and justice. And even today, his teachings about the soul's journey after death continue to inspire and console those who seek to understand the mysteries of the afterlife. As we delve deeper into Padre Pio's understanding of the soul's journey after death, we begin to encounter the true weight of his message. For Padre Pio, death was not the end, but rather the beginning of a deeper journey into the mysteries of God's mercy and justice. His experiences with souls, especially those in purgatory, brought him to a profound understanding that not even death could sever the bond between the living and the dead. This belief that the souls of the departed are still connected to us and that our prayers can impact their journey was central to Padre Pio's spiritual life. But why, you might ask, is this understanding of the soul's journey so important? What does it mean for us, living in a world where death is often viewed as the final word, the ultimate end? Padre Pio's teachings remind us that life and death are not separate, isolated events, but part of a greater, ongoing relationship with God, one that transcends time and physical existence. Padre Pio was convinced that death was not the end of a soul story. Instead, it was a transition into a new chapter, one that began at the moment the soul departed the body and entered the eternal realm. It was then that the soul faced its final judgment, a judgment that was both merciful and just. He explained that even if a soul was not yet ready for heaven, it could still be purified in purgatory, a place of purification where souls were prepared to enter the presence of God. And while some might have been frightened by the idea of purgatory, Padre Pio never saw it as a place of eternal torment. Rather, he saw it as a merciful process where souls, though imperfect, were being shaped by God's love into the beings they were always meant to be. This understanding of purgatory was not a mere theological concept for Padre Pio. It was something he lived every day. As a priest, he often encountered souls in various states of spiritual need. Some, he said, were already in heaven, and their prayers and intercessions served to help those still struggling. Others were in purgatory, caught in a temporary state of purification, and still, there were some whose souls were already lost, for they had rejected God's mercy. But for those who were not yet ready for heaven, the power of prayer could still make a difference. Padre Pio often spoke about the importance of praying for the dead. He emphasized that our prayers, especially for those in purgatory, were never wasted. Even though these souls were already saved, they needed our prayers to be freed from the temporal suffering of purgatory. In his letters and conversations, he would often urge the faithful to remember the departed in their prayers, particularly those who had no one else to pray for them. For Padre Pio, this act of intercession was not only an act of love, but a means of helping the departed make their way toward God. It's important to note that Padre Pio's focus on prayer was not limited to just the dead. He also saw prayer as a powerful tool for the living. His own life was a testament to the transformative power of prayer. He spent countless hours in deep, contemplative prayer, offering his suffering and his heart to God for the good of others. He saw prayer as a way of aligning the soul with God's will, of bringing heaven closer to earth. His life was a constant dialogue with God, a conversation that transcended time and space. When Padre Pio prayed, he didn't just speak words, he became one with the divine. His prayers were said to have an incredible power, as if they were channeled directly from the heart of God. It's said that when Padre Pio prayed for someone, he didn't just ask for God's blessings, he interceded on their behalf, speaking to God as if he were conversing with a friend, begging for mercy, healing, and grace. It's no surprise then that his prayers for the souls in purgatory were so effective. Padre Pio understood that, while we cannot know the final destiny of a soul, our prayers can help in ways we might never fully understand. He believed that God's mercy was so vast, so limitless, that no soul was ever beyond hope. Even in death, the soul was not beyond redemption, and our prayers could make a difference. This view of prayer was radically different from the view held by many others. While some saw death as the final separation, Padre Pio saw it as a continuation of the soul's journey. He understood that prayer had the power to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, between this world and the next. It was through prayer that the living could continue to serve the dead, helping them on their way to eternal life. For those of us left behind, Padre Pio's teachings offer both comfort and challenge. His message is clear: death is not the end, and our prayers can help those who have gone before us. But his teachings also serve as a reminder of our responsibility to live in a way that honors the souls of the departed. By praying for others, by living a life of faith and service, we are not only helping others in this life, but also playing a role in their journey to the next. Padre Pio's life, his miracles, and his experiences with the soul's journey offer us a deeper understanding of death and the afterlife. But more than that, they offer us a way to live a life that is in constant communion with God. Through prayer, we become part of the great tapestry of life, death, and eternal life. We become instruments of God's mercy, offering hope and comfort to those who have passed and to those still walking the path of life. So, as we reflect on the teachings of Padre Pio, we are reminded of the eternal truth that the soul is immortal. Death is not the end, but a new beginning. And through our prayers, we continue to participate in the divine plan, helping guide the souls of the departed to their final resting place with God. As we conclude our exploration into Padre Pio's profound understanding of the soul's journey after death, we are left with a deeply moving realization: the power of prayer, the infinite mercy of God, and the eternal grace that continues to shape the destiny of every soul. Padre Pio's life and teachings offer us a rare and powerful perspective on life, death, and the afterlife, one that transcends the boundaries of this world and touches the eternal mysteries of God. Throughout his years as a priest, Padre Pio experienced the miraculous and the mystical in ways that few others have. He was blessed with the ability to see and understand the fate of souls in a way that set him apart from other spiritual figures. He bore the stigmata, the visible wounds of Christ, and was known for his deep prayer life, his compassion for others, and his extraordinary ability to intercede for the souls of the departed. But what truly made Padre Pio unique was his profound understanding of the moment of death, the instant when the soul departs from the body and enters the eternal realm. Padre Pio's connection with God allowed him to witness firsthand the fate of souls at the moment of death. He claimed to have seen the soul leave the body, and depending on the state of the soul, he would observe it being guided either toward heaven, hell, or purgatory. For him, the moment of death was not just the end of a life, but the beginning of the soul's eternal journey, a journey that continued beyond the physical world into the presence of God or the purification of purgatory. What Padre Pio experienced and shared about the soul's journey offers us profound insights into the nature of death and the afterlife. Death, according to Padre Pio, is not the end of the soul's existence. It is simply a transition, a passage from this life to the next. And while this transition can be filled with uncertainty, fear, and sadness for the living, Padre Pio showed us that there is always hope. Through his teachings, we learn that our prayers, our intercessions, and our acts of mercy can help guide the souls of the departed toward eternal peace. Padre Pio's belief in the power of prayer was not merely theoretical, it was grounded in his personal experiences. He believed that prayer had the power to influence the fate of the soul, even after death. For Padre Pio, the act of praying for the dead was one of the most important spiritual practices. He often spoke of the souls in purgatory, the poor souls, as he called them, who were in need of our prayers. These souls, though not yet perfect, were being purified in preparation for their final union with God. And while those in heaven no longer required our prayers, and those in hell were beyond hope, those in purgatory still had the possibility of salvation, and it was through our prayers that they could be freed from their suffering. Padre Pio's life was a testimony to the transformative power of prayer. He spent countless hours in prayer, offering his suffering and his sacrifices for the souls of the departed. He knew that his prayers could make a difference in the journey of those who had passed away, and he felt a deep sense of responsibility to intercede on their behalf. For him, prayer was not just an act of devotion, it was a way of participating in the divine mystery, of helping souls in their journey toward God. One of the most remarkable aspects of Padre Pio's teachings was his view on purgatory. Unlike some who saw purgatory as a place of suffering and punishment, Padre Pio viewed it as a place of purification, where souls were being cleansed by God's love, not punished by his wrath. He often spoke of how the souls in purgatory were longing for the light of heaven, and he dedicated much of his life to praying for them. He would offer his own suffering, his own stigmata, and his own prayers for their liberation. In doing so, he not only helped these souls, but he also demonstrated the power of sacrifice and intercession. Padre Pio's teachings about purgatory and prayer are particularly relevant for us today. In a world where we often focus on the here and now, Padre Pio's message reminds us that there is more to life than what we can see. The soul's journey continues beyond death, and it is our responsibility to help guide it. Through prayer, we can offer our love and mercy to the souls of the departed, helping them find peace and purification in preparation for their final home with God. Padre Pio's belief in the power of prayer for the dead was not limited to just those in purgatory. He also believed that our prayers for the living could have a profound impact on their spiritual well-being. He often encouraged his followers to pray for others, to offer sacrifices for the conversion of sinners, and to live lives of holiness that would inspire others to do the same. For Padre Pio, prayer was not just about asking for things, it was about aligning oneself with God's will, offering one's heart in service to others, and participating in the divine plan of salvation. But Padre Pio also taught us something important about our own spiritual lives. He reminded us that death is not something to be feared, but something to be prepared for. We are all on a journey, and death is simply the next step in that journey. Our task, as Padre Pio often said, is not to focus on the moment of death itself, but on how we live our lives. We must live in such a way that we are always ready to meet God when the time comes. This means living lives of holiness, of prayer, of sacrifice, and of love for others. It means recognizing that the soul is the most important part of who we are, and that the choices we make in this life will affect the fate of our souls in the next. Padre Pio's teachings challenge us to reconsider how we view death, the afterlife, and our role in the journey of the soul. Death is not the end, but a transition into something greater. And through our prayers, through our love, and through our acts of mercy, we can play an active role in the journey of the departed. When we reflect on Padre Pio's life, we are reminded of the profound mystery of the soul's journey. Heaven, purgatory, and hell are not abstract concepts, they are real, and they are part of the eternal truth that God has revealed to us. But what Padre Pio also showed us is that we are never alone on this journey. Through prayer, through love, and through the intercession of saints like Padre Pio, we are always connected to the souls of those who have gone before us. Our prayers matter, our love matters, and our faith in God's mercy matters. As we reflect on the lessons Padre Pio taught us about life, death, and the afterlife, we are invited to consider our own place in this grand journey. We are called to pray, to live lives of holiness, and to offer our love and mercy to others, especially those who have passed before us. For through our prayers, we are all connected in a deeper, eternal way. Padre Pio once said, "Pray, hope, and don't worry." It's a simple yet profound message, reminding us that prayer is the key to understanding life, death, and the mysteries of God's love. Through prayer, we can touch the eternal, we can help the souls of the departed, and we can align ourselves with God's will. And when we do, we become part of the great mystery of salvation, offering our prayers and love to help souls find peace and eternal life with God. So, as you reflect on the teachings of Padre Pio, remember that prayer is a powerful tool that transcends time and space. It connects us to the eternal and gives us the opportunity to participate in the divine plan. If you found inspiration in Padre Pio's message of mercy, prayer, and intercession, share your thoughts in the comments below. What impact has prayer had on your life, and how has it shaped your understanding of life and death? Let's continue this conversation and support one another in our spiritual journeys. And if you feel inspired by Padre Pio's life, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more content on faith, prayer, and the soul's eternal journey. May Padre Pio's legacy of prayer and mercy continue to inspire us all, and may the souls of the departed find peace and eternal rest in the loving arms of God.